Sí, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Bueno, el siguiente tema, explore los mercados globales con marcas globales, ha creado mucha expectativa entre el público asistente y se va a presentar un panel que van a disertar sobre este tema. Para esto hemos invitado al señor Francisco Angulo, Vice President of Global Development of Realogy. Francisco, adelante.
Good afternoon, Peru. Good afternoon, COIPRI-CILA, and good afternoon, participants from all over the world, including Canada, Cyprus, Singapore, Taiwan. My name is Francisco Angulo, and I have been with Realogy for almost 20 years in different capacities. But as of today, I am the Vice President of Global Development for Realogy. I have also do the same for 20 years as a volunteer for the real estate industry, the US, at local, state, national, and global level. But I always have said, please remember me as Francisco or my nickname Kiko, and not about my title, since title lasts for a certain period of time, but friendship remains forever. First, let's talk about Realogy. Slide. Next one, please. Okay, Realogy has four business pillars. One is the franchise, the second one is a brokerage, the third one is a title, and the fourth one is a relocation. The franchise has 6 brands: Better Home and Gardens, Real Estate, ARA Real Estate, Powell Banker, Sotheby's, Century 21, and Corcoran. Realogy Brokerage Group, the second one, business core, is the nation's largest owner and operator of residential real estate brokerage, with operation in more than 50 of the 100 largest metropolitan areas in the United States. The third one is a title. Realogy Title Group serves real estate companies and financial institutions in support of residential and commercial transactions. Finally, relocation, whether you are moving one hire employee or your whole company across the globe, Cartus, our relocation company, fit its services precisely to your needs. Realogy at a glance. We are in more than 150 countries. We have more than 300 agents around the globe. We have more than 18,300 offices. We have a annual budget of technology, $200 million in technology. We have 2,400 franchises globally, and the average time of the franchisees are 22 years with a 90% retention rate. The Realogy global team. We have first Alvaro Cárdenas. He's based out of Miami, and he's responsible for all 6 brands around the globe. Then we have Theo Vasilios. in Cyprus, and he served Europe, Africa, and Middle East. Then we have Calvin Wong, which he covers Asia Pacific, and he is based in Taiwan. And finally, we have Victor, which is a business development, and he's based out of Singapore. And obviously myself, Francisco Angulo, and my territories is Canada, Central and South America, Caribbean, including Puerto Rico and Bermuda. Behind this team, we have, okay, well, I jumped to the next, okay. We have, in addition to the global team, we have the brand, the innovation and technology departments, finance, operations, legal, and networking opportunities. Next. But the best thing that Realogy have is that we have great people. We have been leading with integrity for the last 10 years, and that we have earned the most ethical company for 10 years in a row. Also, Forbes 2020 have named Realogy the best employer for diversity, and Realogy is a great place to work. Also, we have other leading Swinapol list that we have the most powerful people in residential real estate brokerage industry, and we have about more than 20 executives that have been named on that 2020 list. But now we are going to explore global market with global brands. I have to announce that unfortunately, Sherry Chris will not be able to be present at the panel. She had a last minute event that she will not be able to join us. But we have Philip, we have Stephanie, and we have Alvaro. So now is the time to introduce, let's start with you, Philip.
Hola, gracias. So, you know, I'm Philip White. I'm the president and CEO of Sotheby's International Realty. My job is to grow the brand, to grow the business. I'm really in three businesses as I think about it. We have a very large, very successful franchise business in the United States with some very large companies, some medium-sized companies, and some smaller companies. We're in some of the best locations throughout the United States. I also oversee 45 company-owned brokerage offices. They're located in 12 different markets in the United States. So last year, 2019, that business did $102 billion in sales volume, US dollars. The third business is our international business, which I've worked very closely with Alvaro and his team, Francisco and his peer group to grow that business over the last 15 or 16 years. We're very proud of the fact that we're in over 70 countries, and we do significantly more than 10 billion in annual sales volume in the international business. We also are recognized in the United States for being the top brand in the individual sales volume category by Real Trends. So we're the largest brand based on individual agent sales volume, representing over 20% of that category. So we're very proud of the accomplishments there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Philip. Now let's go with Stephanie.
Thank you, Francisco, and buenos dias, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be here today, and I'm very proud to be on a panel with Philip White, and who's really an icon in the industry, and especially in the luxury real estate industry and the global industry. So thank you for inviting me to join you today. My name is Stephanie Anton. I'm the Managing Director of International Service for Realogy. I, in fact, just joined the company earlier this year, so quite different from my colleagues that are here on the panel. And I think I can offer you a slightly different perspective because of that. I joined from another international real estate network that I was with for 15 years, and I helped grow it from only about 4 countries to over 70. So I've had a lot of experience working in luxury markets and working in the international real estate market. I've also been the head of marketing for a large brokerage, real estate brokerage company. And I've also worked with a lot of developers. In fact, my husband is a real estate developer as well. So I have a lot of great experience with that, helping companies around the world really promote themselves, promote their businesses, promote their markets, which of course is a very big part of attracting an international audience, and then obviously promoting their homes. So my role here at Realogy is to work with our international franchisees across brands to help them really grow their business, to make sure that we, Realogy, are continuing to offer tools and resources and making it a valuable relationship, and ensuring that our brokers are continuing to get more from the relationship. So as you saw in that opening video, we have a 98% renewal rate, which is an incredible rate. And the average franchisee has been with Realogy for 22 years. So we're obviously all about making people very good at what they do, but also developing long-term relationships. So I'm proud to be here, and I look forward to talking to you more today.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now let's have Alvaro introduce yourself.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Francisco. Also super honored to be here with Philip, which I've worked for many years together, and we travel everywhere. And with Stephanie, it's been a pleasure to work since you arrived as well. So super honor. Most important, first, thank you so much for, I wanted to just give a thank you to Daniela Herboso, the president of ASPAI, the association in Peru, and all her team, to our friend Ernesto Figueredo, president of CILA, and all his team. This has been a really, really nice couple of days. I've been participating with Francisco on the virtual booth. It's been really wonderful to see how everything was organized by everyone, and we're committed to continuing to participate on all these CILA events going forward, and in the region in general. So a little bit of background. I come from investment banking as an early part of my career, then real estate development. Back in my country, in Venezuela, so I'm a proud Latin guy. I should be there as part of the audience as well, and I've been. And as a real estate developer back in Venezuela, we encountered Century 21 back in 1999. So we negotiated that. We were are the master franchise for that country and that brand. We launched it successfully to 55 offices in 2 years, becoming the largest broker in the country. At that time, we sold that business, and even today, it's owned by the same group, and still the largest broker in the country. I then went back and continued my relation with Realogy as a client and acquired the rights to Coldwell Banker. Opened about 20 offices in 18 months there. Also, we did really well. We did a little bit of a commercial business there aside from residential, and that was also very good investment and good business in general for us. I sold out of that business. As we know, in Venezuela, things have not been going so well. And I was fortunately at this company to develop a relationship that then evolved into being a consultant, and then further, migrating to the US and becoming part of the management team. I originally joined the team for Sotheby's International Realty to do the international expansion, and that has been pretty much most of my life at Realogy. For 13 out of 15 years, we developed 75 countries for Sotheby's International Realty. Very proud to be working with Philip and all the team there. 2 years ago, I was asked with the team to come in and help expand the role into multi-brand. So we started growing the different Realogy brands. And so you saw the team with slides that Francisco showed, but it's really been about growth. My background is real estate and growth for the last 20 years. We've touched, between me and my team, 120 countries in the world. in the different stages. The last 12 months is been, as of yesterday, we have 20 new countries or markets signed. And in fact, 10 of those have been during COVID times. So it's been quite a good run for all of us. And I'm super happy to join the conversation. Thank you. Back to you, Francisco.
Thank you, Alvaro. Well, now that you have heard from the panelists, you know, like I said before, the best thing at Realogy is that we are great people. And that's the best asset. Like I said myself, been 20 years in different brands, and I don't know which one I like best, because you will love all of them. But everyone has their special touch. And I think that's what is important. But let's go. Let's start with the first question. And let's see a little bit about what the reality as of today is. That in 2020, we have made several changes in the way we work, live and play. 2020 has been full of learning lessons, which are making us stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for the future. Can you share with us, with the audience, lessons learned from your experiences and what is being taught about you, what you might want for your future?
Okay, do you want me to start, Francisco?
Yes, let's go with you.
Okay, gracias, Francisco. So there are 3 points I'd like to make here. Is the strength of the luxury real estate market, the power of our agents, and really content is key, and the power of virtual. So starting out at the beginning of 2020, we were breaking new records almost every day, new price records. Sotheby's was participating in many of those, but the industry was doing very well. And we had a particularly strong first quarter at Sotheby's International Realty. The luxury market was performing at a very high level. Then we went into COVID in really the very end of March, April and May. And you know, we didn't quite know what to expect. But we made a lot of changes. We had to reduce our expenses. We had to reach out, help our affiliated companies. We knew that they were going to have some financial obstacles and hurdles to deal with, and we provided some needed relief there as a corporation. And then, surprisingly, really starting the end of May, June, July, and August, the market has rebounded in a very significant way. Managing 45 company-owned offices, I do have the opportunity to see that data on a day-to-day basis. And we have made up, in that business, we've made up the shortfall that we had in April and May already through August. And we're actually on plan to exceed our original goals for the year. And that holds true for the franchise business as well. And we're also seeing record prices, people moving, you know, record numbers of transactions. And it's not just in the United States. In fact, last week, we reported the second largest sale ever in Sydney, Australia at 95 million Australian dollars. The second one is the power of our agents. You know, I personally have always been really impressed with, you know, the professionalism of our agents, you know, the entrepreneurial spirit that they have. And they've really risen to the occasion during this pandemic. And I'm very proud of the resiliency and the power of our 23,000 agents worldwide. And really content. We pivoted very early in March. We run an article every Monday called Leading in Luxury, and is published in Inman, which is a U.S. News channel for real estate. We pivoted that article that we publish and made it much more about how to deal with the realities of COVID, and we pivoted to much more of a virtual, empowering concept. So we're very proud of that. You know, fortunately, at Sotheby's International Realty, we entered into virtual 3D reality 4 years ago. So many of our listings enjoy that, that special feature. And so we found that the consumer searching for listings on our website has gone up over 100% if there's a video or there's a 3D version of the floor plan on our website. We even have a special, you know, portion of our website devoted to that. So we're finding that, you know, early on that having open houses with Facebook Live and you know, and other you know, avenues for people to view properties. You know, we've always thought that that initially every buyer's search starts online, and we know that. We've actually introduced a brand new website about 2 months ago to capitalize on that. But then we think, you know, the journey is the second view of that property is an in-person view. So, you know, we still believe that, but we still are having to, you know, create virtual opportunities to view those properties. So that's kind of, you know, Francisco, what we've done in, you know, in the last really 6 months to take advantage of this situation. And Sotheby's International Realty is actually, you know, benefiting from many people changing their lifestyles. And obviously they're able to work from home, and we've proven that, you know, very clearly. So they're able to live in other locations and continue to handle their jobs. So that's how we're, you know, really changing, you know, the way we do business. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. I just have to make a few comments about what you just said. It is amazing that now that we are not traveling that much, or basically we're not traveling, I have heard all these affiliates, of Sotheby's affiliates in this particular case, and it's amazing that how this has brought us all together virtually. And you know, they are super extremely happy, and not only about that, but it's just, I believe it has to be with the impact of what Realogy do on the back end with technology, with the 200 millions annually invested. But now let's go with Stephanie. We would like to hear your comments about your experiences in 2020 and personally, and about what you're doing at the moment.
Sure. Thank you, Francisco. I love how you say my name too, as Stephanie. It just sounds so lovely. So thank you for that. So I'll answer this a couple ways. I think I would agree with Philip. There's no question that the way we do business has changed, and the way, and I'm inspired by that same entrepreneurial spirit. You know, people that have built their business and that have really, that they're reinvesting in their business. And so we talk to our brokers all the time. So just this week, I had an opportunity to talk to a broker in Egypt that was saying that the coronavirus actually accelerated the utilization of technology in that country. And so now within 6 months, they're already seeing that in Egypt, people are searching for real estate first online, where they weren't doing it before. It was more of a traditional experience. Another example, I talked to a broker in Barbados yesterday who Barbados is offering people, they call it a digital nomad. And so they say, if you can get here for coronavirus, we will let you live here for a year and work from here. So the changes that have happened to our global culture, and to your point, Francisco, about keeping everyone together, right? We're all in this same similar situation. And the result is that the global community has responded in a similar way. A lot of what Philip was talking about, you know, we see that people are looking at their homes differently. They weren't planning to be in their home 24/7. And so we know that people now want more space. We know that people care more about having outdoor space. They know they want home offices. People want pools. We originally saw people searching for homes with tennis courts or tennis facilities very quickly after the pandemic started, because people were looking for activities to happen outside. And we are hearing about it happening all around the world. And it's brought us together so that we can learn from each other. And I personally, part of what I love about real estate is working with people that have built their business and entrepreneurs. And so it's been great to see the spirit and how quickly we've all adapted and changed. I think it was very overwhelming at first. And very quickly, even if people weren't prepared with as many of the tools and resources that Sotheby's has, people have figured out a way to build those things. The other thing I'll say is, personally for me, I'll just answer your question because I think it's a good one. 2020 has been a very reflective year, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. And it's a good reminder that, frankly, sometimes we need to slow down. And I personally have traveled almost every week for 15 years, and it's a lot. But Francisco, like you, I love it. I love going to new places. I love meeting new people. I frankly wish we were all together today, and I miss it terribly. But I also know that humans are very adaptable, and all of those examples I just shared with you, I think, prove that. And together we've found ways to overcome these challenges, new ways of working, and keeping our economies going. I think if you look back in history, you'll see a lot of great examples of ways cultures came together, and real estate is the center of that, because at the end of the day, we all represent the home. So I'm in a unique position, having changed jobs in the middle of coronavirus, which is a little bit scary. I've never met anyone who works for me, never in person. And yet through technology and things like this, I'm able to build relationships and connect in many ways with more people than we would have been able to do otherwise. I don't know that Philip and Alvaro and Francisco and I all would have been able to be there in person if it weren't for technology. Another great example is at Coldwell Banker. This week we hosted our Gen Blue conference, and it's a big conference that was done via Facebook. And in one breakout session, so just a session, we had 6,000 people attend the session. That's a huge number for our conference, and we would not have been able to touch and talk to as many people as we were able to do because of technology. So I say, I think that there's a lot of hard things that have happened in this world, but there's a lot of upsides as well. And I think technology is going to bring us all closer together. And I think we're going to look back in history at this time, and it's going to be a shift, a major dynamic in the way we all live, work, and play. We're going to look to this moment to say this is when it changed.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. Like you said, I have to agree 100% with you. I love to travel, and all of these great audience from all over Latin American countries, 20 countries, they know how much I love going to their places. But like you said, if we would have this virtual conference, it's very difficult to have such a caliber individual such as Philip, yourself, and Alvaro, and myself all together. So we need to capitalize on that. But at the end of the day, what I like is that we have that energy and we have that passion for what we do. And we take every single moment as is the opportunity to excel. And that's what we do at Realogy. But now, Alvaro, let's go with you.
Thank you, Francisco. And to Stephanie's point, how she finished was almost kind of like how I was going to start, so it's kind of good. But, I thought about this a little bit, and this is an amazing opportunity. It's a great, great opportunity, because learning about resiliency, adaptability, versatility, speed, all of those words that make us better, you don't learn this in textbook. You only learn it in real life. And we probably have, every time there's something difficult in our lives, we come out the other end, for the most part, better because there was some learning experience. So I think that that's the biggest that I think we're going to take from 2020. We're going to learn to be resilient and just be more entrepreneur and everything. The way I think about it, and I mentioned this yesterday a little bit, but I don't mind repeating because I just would like to keep saying it, is I think about it in kind of three levels: in a personal level, in a professional level for me and my team, and Relogy. And on a personal level, it's a little bit what all of us are saying here. It's like, this is the first time in 20 years I spent more than a month at home. And it's been a great learning lesson to see how my family, my boys, 4 boys and wife, have adapted very maturely, quick, how it's just brought us closer from a relationship perspective. And the same with friendships. And that has been really a lot of growth. Professionally, which I think the biggest surprise I have in this year is that we were more prepared than we expected. And I think me and my team, we have been working remotely for such a long time that even though there is now we're doing more virtual with the camera, at the end of the day, we were not going to a head office. We were working from home, on the road, on planes, on hotels, relating with clients, just like all of you do with your clients as real estate agents or brokers every day. And we already had the training. So my surprise is we were already prepared. We just added video to it. And everybody else that wasn't started to jump on board. So I think we were able to surprisingly, we were more prepared. Relogy also. I think Relogy, since I've been with the company, has gone through a number of challenges. I mean, 2008 and 10, you know, we went through a financial crisis, the whole world, and then 2015, 20, we had new players coming in, disrupting, bringing technology, and in all those occasions, we learned as a company to become more efficient, to reinvent ourselves, to refresh new brands, to invest in technology. So when this came around, I think it was very surprising to see all of our leaders and everybody in the team kind of respond very quick and adapt. And to that point, I think also the biggest surprise also is our domestic US and international masters, which are about 220 of them around the world. They were all prepared. They are all vested in this company and in the brands. And we started learning from the pandemic around the world, listening to what's happening in China and seeing what were their contingency plans. And we had to suffer through a cancellation of a Japanese event. And by the time it hit Europe, we had a little bit of learning experience from Asia. And then all of a sudden, we all jumped in these weekly calls with all of our international affiliates, learning from each other and sharing. And it was a very fast learning, and everybody was benefiting in a way, kind of benefiting from that belonging on the networks. And also we kind of broke a little bit the walls between the brands, in the sense of when something was needed, we kind of reached out between our sister brands in Relogy. So that was really pleasant to see. That's my comment on learning, and I keep learning here. So we're still in September.
Thank you, Alvaro. I just have to say a quick comment about everything that have been said. And Stephanie says that, yes, we travel a lot, but I have to admit that to me, and I heard our CEO, Ryan Snyder, say in one Inman conference, says that that technology will not replace that you're going to buy a house pressing a red button. So still the human component inside of them. And I think even though that we adapt to everything, and I know the panelists will say it later, but I have to say the human touch, it's important. And I heard another good friend of mine saying at one moment that, Francisco, I just want to give you a hug. and I smelled your excellent cologne that you wear. So I think that, you know, we have to balance. And the other thing that I learned in the personal level was, for those of you that know me, and I think most of you know who I am, one thing that I learned on the 6 months that I've been basically at home working remotely, my hair growth. And yes, this is not a wig, it's my hair. So, and I learned, and I feel super happy that I thought I didn't have any more hair, but yes, I do have my hair, and it's not a wig like somebody have asked me. So let's go with the second question, and let's just go. At Realogy, we have 6 brands with different value propositions and unique brand attributes, each in their own swimming lanes. I will just read this, that, for example, ERA, it's ERA, it's corner your market. Bellingham and Gardens is expect better. Sotheby's, exceptional define. For Corcoran, live who you are. Coldwell Banker, guiding you home since 1906. And Century 21, relentless move. So could you please tell us a little bit more about this and what makes your brand unique? So let's start with you, Philip.
Well, as you explained, Francisco, each of the Realogy brands has a different, you know, culture, a different, you know, DNA, so to speak. The Sotheby's International Realty brand was started, it'll be 45 years ago next year, 1976. But we have the same name as the Sotheby's Auction House, which was founded in 1744, 276 years ago. You know, before the Napoleonic Wars, in fact, and it's operated since then. So we have actually grown substantially more than the auction house. And in fact, we're working very closely with them right now to come up with a whole plan to co-share different offices with them around the world in different international locations. So it was originally founded to service the clientele of the auction house, but it's, you know, obviously grown substantially since then. So we do enjoy that global brand name, but we really, in a way, supercharge the brand with our marketing efforts, and but we've stayed very close to our original mandate, if you will. Which is to really serve the luxury buyer and seller. So Sotheby's International Realty in the United States and in some international locations, but clearly in the United States, in terms of large brands, we have the highest average sales price of any national brand, and that's a very important point, because, you know, as you grow a luxury brand, you have to be careful not to dilute the brand. And I think, you know, what I'm particularly proud of at Sotheby's International Realty is that we've been able to scale the business significantly, but maintain our values and maintain, you know, the high quality, the exceptional service that we deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Stephanie?
Thank you, Francisco. So I have a unique role because I work with, you know, most of the brands across Realogy. But for today, I wanted to talk to you just a little bit more about Coldwell Banker, and then introduce Corcoran to you and talk to you a little bit more about that, because it may be a brand you don't know. But first, let me give you a little information about Coldwell Banker, because as Francisco said, the tagline is guiding you home since 1906. The brand is in fact over 100 years old. It was the first brand to be franchised in the US, and it's by far the largest. But the pillars of the brand, what it stands for, is trust, honesty, integrity, and service. It's really the cornerstone of everything we do. And I think you can all relate to that when you're in the real estate business, right? But at 100 years, we celebrated it by building 100 homes for Habitat for Humanity, which is a great example of how we demonstrated what the brand stands for by helping build 100 homes around the world. So I think it's just a great example. Today, Coldwell Banker is 3,000 offices in 49 countries, and you know, it's really got incredible global reach. And so because my role is to work with the international masters, I had a great opportunity this past week to have a call with about 18 of them. And it was wonderful for me because I got to hear about what's happening in the real estate market around the world. We had Cambodia, Ireland, Egypt, Uruguay, and really Argentina. So, you know, we had an opportunity to talk to those entrepreneurs and those owners, like I was telling you about. They can learn from each other and share best practices, and then really figure out how to navigate this sort of strange new world together. So, you know, I just wanted to share a little bit. The group talked a lot about the challenges with government regulations, and I know many of you in the countries you're in have dealt with that, and the impact that it has on consumer confidence and economic struggles. So, but I wanted to share that they also really focused on their real deep commitment to this sense of entrepreneurship and to using this time to invest and to put back into their business so they could help their business grow. And I was really inspired by their creative thinking and how they're working together. And I think it's just a message that I want to leave you with, and, you know, for you to think about is, you know, focusing on the positive and ways that you can use this time to navigate, maybe work, you know, with your government organizations and invest in your business. And I think that all centers back on what Coldwell Banker stands for. The other brand I'll just briefly talk about is Corcoran. And Corcoran, again, you may not know it, but if you watch the TV show Shark Tank, you might know Barbara Corcoran, who was our founder. She sold the company actually almost 20 years ago, and she's not involved, but the spirit that she put out for the company still lives in the company today. It's operated in New York City since the early 1970s. It's almost as old as me. And it's also been in a few high-end areas like at the Hamptons outside of New York and Palm Beach. But just in 2020, we began franchising the brand. And that, you know, that's really what Realogy is very, very good at, and part of why I joined the company. We had an opportunity to learn from Philip and his group and all of the other brands and idea share. And, you know, Alvaro talked about that, and I'm coming in new and finding that everybody shares. It's really a very wonderful environment. And so this year, just, you know, launching a new brand during coronavirus is kind of a crazy idea, but we've already broken all of our plans. It's been very, very successful. And what I'll tell you is this concept of live who you are is the tagline for Corcoran. And it's all about celebrating individuality and being different. We're moving as cultures away from sameness and everyone being the same, and really celebrating people for who they are and what they do and how they're different from one another. So I encourage you to visit us at the Realogy booth, because we express that through the marketing, and the marketing is really top notch. It's really exciting. And, you know, as I said, we've just started franchising, so there's lots of opportunity if you're interested in the brand. I know we have examples of what I'm talking about in the booth, but I think I can't talk about it as much as it will show you, I think, all of the different ways that we're marketing real estate by putting the consumer at the center and celebrating those points of difference. So it's just two examples of 6 Realogy brands that are doing things quite differently from each other.
Thank you, Stephanie. Alvaro, I'm going to ask you for give an answer shorter, since we're running a little bit behind on schedule. But go ahead, Alvaro.
Yeah, I'll be shorter, and I think I don't have enough time to do brands. I'll just make a couple comments on the ones that are not here, but I think the most important here for the audience, this is CILA, this is 18 countries, 19 countries, Latin America, and the main message here is that we didn't just arrive. We've been operating for over 2 decades in the region, and in Mexico, we're operating with Coldbanker and Century 21 for over 20 years, and with Sotheby's International Realty for nearly 17 years. And so we've been around, and so we've been growing, same in Central America for many years in those destination markets. And then we started our South America growth. Myself, I was part of that 20 years ago. So we've got altogether, Century 21 that we didn't mention here has presence in every single market where LATAM is represented in this conference except one, which is El Salvador, where every other country were present. Sotheby's has 11 markets where it's present. And I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but we have our friend from Paraguay, Ernesto, who has just joined the brand. So during COVID, and he's about to, I don't know if I should announce it, but he's about to launch his operations there. And we have some friends from COIPRI in Chile also launching very soon. So Sotheby's in 11 countries, COIPRI in 6 countries. We have about 600 offices in the region, and over 8,000 agents. We have a lot of places to grow. We want to grow in Brazil. We want to grow in filling some gaps in Colombia for Sotheby's. And but it's for us, it's an attractive region. We're very close. Where I'm sitting in Miami is all fed by Latin America on new development. So we believe in it. And so that's kind of my comment in general on the Realogy brands. We have other brands to roll. So we have 3 already kind of present in the region, and that allows us to get deeper on those and then bring in other opportunities with ERA on the mass general market for better homes on kind of lifestyle areas. And then with corporate, we have to figure out the plan for some metro areas, kind of emulate what they are doing in the US. But yeah, so thank you, Francisco.
Thank you, Alvaro. I just want to quickly say that I have the most difficult job because yes, I sell 6 brands and I'm falling in love with all of them. So, and I have to say, it is great. Like Philip says at the very beginning, you have the choices. Each have their own swimming lanes. So you swim in whichever lane you want to choose. But I can tell you, I was initially with Century 21, then with Coldbanker, and then I learned about Sotheby's. I fall in love with Sotheby's, then with the other brands. And I said, well, you know what? I just learned one thing in my life. I will not leave Realogy because I can have all 6 brands together. So it is your choice. It is you explore what is best for you, but I think we have everything that you may need. But we're gonna close with the last question. And the question is, what is one recommendation or message for our audience of this wonderful event? I will ask that you take 30 seconds to respect the timing. We are not in a Latin time, we are in American time. So let's just catch up for all the time that we have taken more than that. So let's start with you, Stephanie.
Sure. I was going to tease you. Isn't this Latin time? We have time. No, of course. My last thing to tell you quickly is a quick story about Coldbanker, because Coldbanker was started in 1906 out of the ashes of the earthquake. There was a great earthquake that happened in San Francisco in 1906. And Benjamin Banker, who founded Coldbanker, put a sign up outside his building that said, "Don't talk earthquake, talk business." And his point was, don't get mired in the negativity, focus on rebuilding, focus on business, and focus on helping one another. And so that's my advice for you today. Don't focus on the challenges, focus on the opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Philip.
Just a couple of points, Francisco. So just my recommendation is to really remain at the forefront of technology. And then pay attention to, the leading indicators, the trends that are happening out there. And then the second one is stay close to your clients, stay close to your past clients. Many of them are thinking about changing their lifestyle, either buying or selling their current home. So it's really very important that you continue to stay in touch with all of your clients. We're generating so many referrals through Sotheby's International Realty. Our network is closing transactions that we never would have closed without this change in lifestyle that's happening really throughout the world, not just in the United States. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Alvaro?
So we are super committed to CILA and to all the associations. We're here. We were in Uruguay. We're here in Peru virtually, and we will be in Guatemala next year. Committed to anything that's about learning and improving our careers. So continue learning, be prepared. I'm super passionate about real estate. I think it's the best asset class there is in Latin America. Every time we have a currency crisis, an inflation crisis, any type of crisis, people fly to real estate to preserve value and capital. I think that's the best thing you can do for your clients and continue to service in this amazing industry. And thank you for this opportunity. And I really enjoyed this couple of days.
Thank you, Alvaro. Well, let's just close and let's just move to the next slide. And I'll ask you to visit our stand. It's very interactive. You may have all the videos of all 6 brands. You have all 6 brand overviews of all 6 brands. And you have one for Realogy. And then you have a way to contact us. There's all social media on top of the panel. You click there and it will take you over there. So we're not here just for 45 minutes. We have you have us forever. We can answer any questions. And I just wanna to say thank you. Next slide. For all Peruvians hosting country, thank you. We miss the delicious ceviche. For CILA members from around the world, thank you. And we'll see you soon. Obrigado, and thank you. And we'll see you in Guatemala next year. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to us. Adios.
Obrigado.
Gracias, obrigado.
Buenas noches.
Adios.
Adios.